The first season of Creature Commandos has officially concluded with its 7th episode, also marking the completion of the first ever DCU series. There was a whole bunch of world building and potential setup for future movies and shows as well. We already know the second season has been greenlit, and certain characters are already confirmed to be appearing in future DCU productions, but the first season also leaves us with a lot of questions and loose ends. So today we're going to be having a look at what lies in the future for the characters of the show. The first season ends with the Bride being put in charge of a brand new Creature Commandos team that features a mix of old and new faces. Weasel, Dr. Phosphorus, and a now rebuilt and upgraded GI robot are now joined by Nosferatu, Khalees, and former Suicide Squad member King Shark.
Bird.
It's easy to assume that this new team will deal with a completely different story in the second season, but there's still a couple of big unexplained and leftover details that they could revisit and wrap up from the first season. There's also a lot of potential future escapades that they could adapt for the second season. One of the more well-known Creature Commando stories in the comics is when they fought the Ultra Humanite on Dinosaur Island. It was rumoured a couple of years ago, when this show was first announced, that the first season would revolve around Dinosaur Island, but clearly these scoops were completely wrong and made up. Now, one of these leftovers revolves around Circe and the now dead princess. We were given no indication that she and the princess could have actually been working together, so I don't quite know how the princess was aware of Circe's vision that she wanted to start World War III. This is kind of important because the whole twist at the end of the show that the princess was actually evil this whole time revolves around her knowing the vision. It's pretty much the basis of the whole Clayface subplot as well. So could there be some unfinished business with Circe and a potential secret connection to the princess? To me, I think it's just an oversight and a bit of a rushed finale. We don't actually know what happens to her after she shows Waller her vision of the future, and without a Wonder Woman project currently in development, it's unclear when she could possibly reappear in the DCU. It's also unlikely that we will see her again in Paradise Lost, because that show is set before Wonder Woman was even born, so Circe would likely not be born yet either. But who knows, it's entirely possible that they could play around with some characters' ages here and there. If you made it this far, be sure to leave some of your own ideas of what Season 2 of Creature Commandos could entail. We'd love to hear some of your theories. And if you've been enjoying this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I felt that Nina might have been the most underdeveloped and underutilized character in the whole show, which is really weird considering that she was written to become the main plot device in the finale when she ends up dying. However, they could still bring her back in the second series if they really wanted to, through the same way they revived her once in the comics. Khalees, one of the new members of the team that I mentioned earlier, actually brought Nina back from the dead whilst also giving her the ability to breathe without needing her helmet on. They could absolutely go down this route for Season 2, and I don't think that bringing her back would feel that cheap, since there could be so much more for her to do in the future of the DCU. What's next for Frankenstein? I actually have no idea. He was set up to be a big character in the show, but by the end felt like a bit of an afterthought. Hopefully he's given more time to evolve the character, rather than just be the weird stalker of the Bride, because David Harbour gives a really great performance that deserves more time being used. In the New 52 comics, Frankenstein is actually the leader of the Creature Commandos under a secret organization called SHADE. I don't think the DCU's version of the character is quite capable of that, since he's such a different take on the character than those comics. Since he's still alive, I'm sure that he's probably going to pop up again, but I hope he has more of a purpose than to be a nuisance to the Bride in the second season. Last time we saw Clayface, he was looking a little worse for wear. but this is a character that has a habit for seeming dead, but finding his way back. Not to mention that there's like 8 different Clayfaces in the comics. I'm sure one of the other ones could show up at some point as well. Plus, there's that Clayface movie in development, so it's possible we're going to see a younger version of him in that. It won't be long until we see Frank Grillo return as Flag Sr. again. He will be appearing in both Superman and Peacemaker Season 2 later this year. He's previously said in an interview that Flag is going to become the leader of A.R.G.U.S for the DCU, replacing Amanda Waller, who also has her own show in development. The outcome of the first season is probably the catalyst for her being outed and replaced as the leader, and I expect we'll learn more about what happened to Waller and what she's going to be doing going forward during Peacemaker Season 2. And as for Flag's involvement in Peacemaker, I'm sure he has a bit of an issue already with Peacemaker that needs resolving.
Peacemaker. What a joke.
So I think that's all the important characters from the show covered. Am I missing one? Oh my god, how could I forget Economos? He's probably going to be in a whole bunch of movies and shows over the next few years. Well, that depends if the DCU can fully take off, that is. So, what did you guys think about the first season of the show? I thought it was a solid, if not weird, start to the DCU. I'm not quite sure whether quite a niche little animated project was the right thing to start the DCU, but they were kind of saying that it's like a precursor to the DCU. It's not the real, like, big starting point. That will still be Superman, but in terms of logistics, it is the first DCU project. So, we'll see how well it does, I guess. I think that in the show there was a lot of room for improvement, but it wasn't bad by any means. So yeah, be sure to let us know what you want to see from Season 2 in the comments, and what you thought about the first season. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw here today, then maybe consider subscribing to catch our other content as and when it releases.